Do you wonder why so many expats are returning back to the United States? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 ways to be an expat for the long term. Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me as I'm now on my 9th year as an expat, doing this full time. And one of the things I've been doing is now I'm sharing some of the tips and secrets that I have that has been able to let me do this 9 years strong. I am now on my 3rd continent and in my 4th country, which is in Lusaka, Zambia. And so let's go ahead and get into today's video. And let me get this light up a little better. There we go. And so the first thing that you want to do if you want to become an expat for the long term is you need to understand the local prices and get out of the gringo prices. Now, if you're someone that has just been in the United States, you've never left the country, you may not understand the word of gringo prices. It may be called Mzungu prices here in Africa. But if you go to like Central, South America, Southeast Asia, it's gringo prices. And what that is you're getting out of the tourist prices. This is very important because this is going to save you a lot of money. The locals do not pay what you pay as a tourist. And so you want to be as close to the local prices as possible, especially when you're buying things. Like, really think about it. There's a big difference between paying $500 for a piece of furniture and then you paying $130 for a piece of furniture. Those little things start to add up. So please be mindful of getting into the local prices and out of the gringo prices. Like, just to give you an example here in Lusaka, what I have an assistant that do most of my shopping for me when it comes to in town, because I know once they hear my accent, you can see the dollar signs popping in their head like, oh, he's rich. And they're just going to come out with a price that doesn't even make sense. And so I get everything done through through my assistant. And that way I'm getting local prices and I just send her the money and she picks it up and send it to me. And so that may be something that you want to actually do, is have an assistant that is getting the local prices for you. Second thing that you want to do is create MSIs. This is multiple streams of income. Please listen to me on this. Whether it doesn't matter if you're retired, you're rich, whatever, do not just move to a country to retire. Create streams of income in that country. One of the things that I've been talking about a lot on this channel is using the power of multiplication. Like right now, today, the US dollar, $1 is about 25.9 kwacha. So my $1 has multiplied by 25.9. So what I'm doing with that multiplication is I'm reinvesting into businesses and doing things in the kwacha, buying land, stuff like that. So when the kwacha rebounds, my money is multiplying again. So you want to create multiple streams of income. And don't be looking for jobs abroad. You need to be coming as an investor or an entrepreneur, opening up businesses. You want to employ people. You do not want to be coming here looking for work. I can tell you countless and countless times again, as I've been traveling, I run into Americans who have very little savings, maybe $2,000 or $3,000 US dollars, thinking like, oh, I can live off of $10 a day for the rest of my life. That's not true. These videos these YouTubers are making out here, which is over exaggerating how cheap it is to live in these countries, that is not true. Do you want to be living in a hostel for 3 to 5 years? If not, if you want to be living in a nice house, like I'm in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, I pay about 195 US dollars a month. That is a big difference than paying $6 a day in a hostel. You know what I mean? Well, actually, it's not even that big of a difference because you're paying $180 for a hostel when I just did a quick calculation. But like, really think about that. But the catch is you have to go back to number one of understand the local prices. If you come just looking online and you find the first apartment or first house online, you're probably going to be paying about 800 to 1,000 US dollars when your next door neighbor is probably paying 100 to 200 US dollars. So please look into that. So you want to be someone who's coming to actually create MSIs. You want to get your money to be making money for you. That is one of the most important things. And this is one of the reasons that stop most Americans and most foreigners in general just from being able to stay abroad longer than they want to. You hear time and time again, people have ran out of money. So you want to be able to create MSIs. The third thing is you must drop the utopian dream. Now, this is going to be hard for a lot of people, especially if you're a first time person out of the United States. When you first leave, you're going to see all the different freedoms, how more pure the food tastes, how cleaner the air is, how cleaner the water, the things that really entice you. And it does create that paradise effect. But you must understand the longer you stay in that country, you're going to start seeing the things that annoy you more than the things that excite you. So you have to let go of the utopian dream and understand there are some things that are going to be wrong in the new host country that you're going to. There's no perfect place on earth. So like here in Zambia, I'll tell you this is a big inconvenience and it's annoying. There's load shedding. If you're not familiar with load shedding is, that is where they cut the power grid off for hours at a time. I think it's been cut off here since, I think they cut it around 1 p.m. today, 1300 hours. And it's just now coming back at about 2100 hours. Really think about that. Is that the worst thing in the world? No, it's not. But will it get on your nerves sometime, day after day, day after day? Yes. But you have to look at the other things. And let's go back to number 2. Create MSIs. If your big focus while you're living abroad is creating MSIs, getting your money to be multiplying on 2 ends, you're not going to be that concerned about the load shedding and little things like that, because you're going to be seeing like, hey, 10, 12, 10, 12, maybe 20 years down the line, this might be making me the next multimillionaire. So keep that in mind. Get out of that utopian mindset. Yes, I know you may be seeing this red pill, blue pill, get out of the matrix, escape the matrix. The whole world is comprised of matrices. There is no escaping the matrix. You leave your home country matrix, you're going into another matrix. Whether you like it or not, you will be in that matrix. A matrix, just think about it as it's a government. Every government is a different matrix. And so there's some things that are not going to bother you as much, and there's some things that will affect you. And so once you start to understand that, it will make living abroad a lot easier for you. And the fourth thing is become independent. Now, what I mean by this, I know a lot of people might be like, I am independent. You have to become okay with being alone. When you're leaving your home country, one of the things that a lot of people don't tell you is you're leaving all your friends and family behind. You're leaving behind the people that you know and spend most of your time with. And yes, you will be able to make friends and things like that. But you got to remember, people have their own culture and traditions here. And so people are not going to probably hang out as much as you want to or as you're used to in your home country. So you have to become independent. And one of the things that you're going to have to truly embrace is you are truly on your own. You are completely on your own. There's no one's house to run over to. There's nobody to ask for help. Like, you have to be independent. And if you're not someone who's ready to be fully independent, not dependent on anyone or anything, it's going to become a little hard and difficult, because those days and those nights where you're just by yourself and it may be a little lonely or a little sad, you have to figure out how to get yourself out of that hump. You have to figure out how to get yourself up and above that and get into a place of happiness. And so please be mindful of that, because I think that is one of the things a lot of people did not understand until COVID happened. I had many countless friends in Colombia during COVID. They were just calling like, yo, man, I'm bored. Like, yo, I'm sad. Like, the depression, ain't nobody to talk to. I'm stuck in the house by myself. And I would ask them like, yo, are you reading books? What are your hobbies? Like, what are you doing to keep yourself fulfilled that doesn't involve other people? And so that is something you definitely want to be aware of if you do plan on moving abroad or becoming a full-time expat. You want to be independent. Now, the fifth thing is you have to fully let go of your home country. This is hard. Like, everything you know and been programmed for is based off your home country, your home city. Like, those things are programmed deep inside of us and deep inside of you too. Like for me, I got lucky because I went to the military at such a young age. And then my first duty station was overseas. And so I was forced to go over there. I didn't have an option of coming back home if I wanted to. And it got me comfortable with just being alone, on top of being born 10 years under my brothers and my cousins. I was used to being alone most of my time. So even though I had a bunch of family, they were doing their thing because they was a lot older than I was. And so it really helped get me ready to this type of lifestyle. And that's why it comes a lot easier for me than others. I'm going to be honest with you. But you have to fully let go of your home country. And one of those things is don't be focused on politics in your home country. Like right now, every once in a while, somebody will send me stuff about the Trump, Biden, and all of that. I don't really care too much about that stuff. That's not my country anymore. I'm not there anymore. I'm not going to be living there anymore. So I don't really focus too much on it. And one of the things that I always notice when I probably run into a Black American that's coming straight from the United States, they're always bringing up the injustices there. And I have to remind them, why do you care now? Like, I don't mean it in a bad way, but I mean, like, you left that country. You have to focus on the things in the country that you're in. If you're going to continue living in the country that you left, you might as well go back, because it's going to start making your journey in the new country like dark. Like you get angry. Like if you're looking at some of the stuff that's going on there and you're not even there, you're going to be bringing that anger, that hatred. Like you're going to see a cop and be mad at that cop, and that cop here don't have nothing to do with that. They don't even know what's going on there. So be mindful of that. One of the other things is stop the compare-itis. Stop comparing what's better about your home country or what the new country that you're living in is missing. You have to embrace the new country that you're in for what it is. Now, if there's certain things that are missing infrastructure-wise, are you able to create a business around it? That is how you have to look at it. Like the things that may be coming up short, are you able to create a business around that, which will go back to number 2, create MSIs, multiple streams of income. And then the last one on that is let go of your comfort foods. This is going to be hard for people. Like if you move to Zambia, there's no McDonald's, there's no Burger King, there's no Popeye's chicken. You have to let those things go. And if you're not willing to let those things go, you're going to have a hard time adjusting. Adapt to the local foods. Go out to local cuisines. Try the different things. Now, I'm not saying go out and try the delicacies of each new country, because most likely you're not going to like those. Like they have certain delicacies here in Zambia. You may not like it. I think one of them is the mopani worms, which are caterpillars. And, it's a delicacy here. But you coming from like the United States, you're probably not going to like that. So why try it? It's the same way as if someone from Zambia or even someone from up north in New York City go down to the South and they're trying to eat chitterlings. Why? If that is not something that you're used to, why would you do it? And I'm a person from the South and I've never eaten chitterlings. And so like stay in your comfort zone, but also let go of your comfort foods. Like it's a very delicate balance. Like if you eat meat, eat beef, eat chicken, eat pork. That doesn't mean you have to go to the extreme of eating the delicacy. So just please be mindful of that one. Because you always hear sometimes people like, oh, the food ain't good. The food ain't good. Well, what did you eat? Well, they were feeding me insects. They were feeding me this. If you don't eat that in your home country, why do you want to go over there and eat it? The people do eat meat. There's plenty of beef here. There's plenty of chicken here. There is a KFC here. So you can hold on to that one. They have Hungry Line, which is a chicken place. It's all over the place. You can't throw a stone without hitting a Hungry Line in Lusaka. And so the next one is number 6. And this is really important. Choose a country you can safely and easily invest into. Now, this is why I love Zambia in this SADC region of Africa, which includes Namibia, Botswana, South Africa also. But I'm just speaking of Zambia right now. This country is safe to invest into. You can create a business here legally with less than 100 US dollars. You can invest in companies. Like you can do all of these things here. Contracts mean things. The judicial system means something here. Like I'm starting next month Prudential Life Insurance, which is a term life insurance for about 5 years. I'll be setting aside 5,000 kwacha a month, which is about 195 US dollars for in the term is for 5 years. At the end of that term, I'll set aside 300,000 kwacha, and then for each year, I'm actually collecting 11.6% interest, which is compounding each year. So that may bring it to about anywhere from 330 to about 380,000 kwacha. So like, look how that is. Even in my bank account right now with my savings, I get a 6% interest rate on it. So like I do put money into my savings accounts. I'm looking to invest into the Lusaka Stock Exchange where I'll be getting dividends off of different companies. All of those things are very accessible here. And on top of that, I'm always looking for new land to invest into to create farms. I have 20 hectares out in Chama, which is the eastern province. I'm looking at another 5 hectares in Mumbai to probably get next month. And then I'm also looking at about 10 hectares here in Chongwei to get also just to create different farms and different ways to create income off of that land. And so that is one of the things that you definitely want to look into. And really think about this. If you're making money in your new home country, you opening up businesses, it gives you more of an incentive to want to stay. Because most people are just sitting in their house or just watching TV. They're just maybe going out to eat. They're not doing things that are at a soul level that is fulfilling them. And so they're not seeing themselves gain and growth throughout the new countries. And so it becomes easier for you to just go back to your home country. And then this slides right into number 7, which is burn your bridges to your home country. And what I mean by that is cut off your obligations there. Let go of those materialistic things. I'm telling you right now, you don't need to ship your big headboard frame. You don't need to put your stuff in storage. I did it when I first left. So story that I've never even shared with people. When Cece and I, who's my late wife, she passed away 2 years ago. When we first left the United States, we had a storage unit. We had it for about 2 years and then we lost it because we thought we had it paid up for the year. The storage unit didn't let us know. And by the time we came back into the country, it was already up for auction. And the price they wanted us to pay to get it back, it just really wasn't worth it. Plus, the things in there, like we started realizing, do we really need these things? And that is where you're going to come to a crossroads too. Also, some of those, not even some, majority of those materialistic things that you own, you're not going to need them. You're not going to use them in your day-to-day life. Like I had stainless steel pots. I paid about 2,000 US dollars for them. I got them from the State Fair of Texas. They were doing a demo with them. I found the same pots cheaper in every country I've been in. Same pots. Instead of paying all of this money, all the books I had, all the little swords and things like that I had. Once I left the United States, it was so safe. I'm like, well, I want to have all these weapons for it. I don't need them. I feel safe. And I felt like I was going to be the dangerous person carrying around all these weapons. Then what else? Like we had old records and stuff, which, yes, I hate that that they're no longer here. But you know what the reality is? I don't have a record player. How am I going to get any value holding on to records that's just going to be collecting dust? And like all of those things that was in that storage, it really helped me realize I didn't need those things. Whenever I move from country to country, I just go with a backpack. I go with a few clothes, enough to where I can change clothes, I can wash my butt. And I realized, you know what? I'm always be able to find new furniture in a new country. I'm going to always be able to find new clothes in a country. Everything that I need is going to be in that new country that I go to. We still live on the same earth. So don't hold on to too many materialistic things. The more materialistic things you're holding on to the US, it's keeping you attached there. And when you're in that ambivalence of, oh, I got this stuff in the US, I need to be worried about it. oh, I'm trying to have fun and settle down here, it gets shaky and it creates anxiety. And then the second thing is try to let go as many monetary obligations that you have in your home country. Now I'm gonna say the US, like if you have an apartment or a house left in the US, you might just need to sell it. Let it go or let a family rent it out from you or a friend or get a property manager that can manage it for you. And the reason being is the more you're having to spend money there, it's going to be taking away a lot of your fun in a new country. Because, like, let's say if I'm paying $1,000 for a 2-bedroom place in the United States, I'm just paying $199 here. And but like if I'm paying for both of those places at every month at the same time, I'm paying $1,200 a month. And now I'm starting to think like, man, why? Well, what I'm gonna do? Like, well, I've been paying on that place longer. Maybe I should just go back. Like these are the things that really hold people back from fully adapting to the new country that they go to. And this is why you see a lot of expats end up leaving. They still have those card notes back there, that insurance, everything. I think I pay $10 a year for card insurance with USAA. It's a military insurance company. And the reason why I pay the $10 is just in case I ever go back to the United States and if I need to get insurance, I need to be covered for any rental car or anything like that. But because they know I'm not driving, that's why I don't have to pay as much money. And you may want to look into something like that. But like here in Zambia, I believe maybe for the year, you may be paying $40 for full coverage. Like you see the difference compared to paying maybe $200 or $300. So try to cut as many financial obligations that you have back in the US. Now that do not include children. If you still have child support, things like that, pay that bill, man. Just pay that bill. That's a good bill to have. You want to be able to support your kids. And the other beautiful thing about that is when your kids probably come to the new home country that you have because you've been setting up MSIs, you've been investing in that new country, you can probably give them a future in that new country that you couldn't even dream of giving them in your home country. And so I just wanted to share that with you. That is 7 ways to be an expat for long term. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you're a full-time expat too, and if I missed out on anything, leave it down below. Sharing is caring. We're now in a world where we need to start sharing this information and helping each other out, because the simpler it is for you to start doing these things, the longer you will be able to do it. And trust me, I made a lot of mistakes on the way and I spent a lot of money, and I want to save you as much time as possible. So just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.